Imagine waking up to a world where people turn savage, tearing at each other with no control. Could a real-life superbug trigger a zombie apocalypse? For decades, the idea of zombies has thrilled and terrified us. From Night of the Living Dead to The Walking Dead, stories of the undead have captured our imagination. But while these tales are fiction, the science behind potential zombie-like pathogens is very real and frightening. Researchers warn that a highly resistant, rapidly spreading pathogen, a superbug, could push humanity toward disaster. Let's explore the chilling science behind flesh-eating bacteria, viral mutations, and the terrifying scenarios where fiction might edge closer to reality. What is a superbug, and why should you care? A single scratch or bite could be all it takes. Are superbugs the silent monsters hiding in our hospitals? Superbugs are bacteria or viruses that resist most treatments, including antibiotics and antivirals. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, antimicrobial resistance, AMR, already causes over 1.3 million deaths per year, with projections estimating 10 million deaths annually by 2050 if the problem goes unchecked. Pathogens like methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, MRSA, and multi-drug-resistant tuberculosis thrive in places where antibiotics are overused, such as hospitals, clinics, and even livestock farms. Some of the most terrifying are flesh-eating bacteria like Vibrio vulnificus or Streptococcus pyogenes. These bacteria cause necrotizing fasciitis, a rare but deadly condition that destroys skin, fat, and muscle tissue at an alarming rate, sometimes within hours. The CDC reported 1,000 to 1,200 cases in the US in 2023, with a 20 to 30% mortality rate. Imagine a pathogen like this, but faster, deadlier, and resistant to all treatments. Could it mimic the zombie-like decay we see in movies? The viral twist. Could a virus turn us into zombies? What if a virus could hijack your mind, turning you into a mindless predator? While flesh-eating bacteria are horrifying, viruses may pose an even greater threat for a zombie-like scenario. Viruses can mutate rapidly and spread via air, blood, or bodily fluids. Rabies, for example, alters behavior in infected hosts, causing aggression, confusion, and a compulsion to bite. In 2021, the WHO reported around 59,000 human rabies deaths, mostly in regions with limited healthcare. Now imagine if rabies evolved to spread like influenza through respiratory droplets. The results could be catastrophic. Scientists have even experimented with chimeric viruses, combinations of multiple pathogens, like the 2011 H5N1 bird flu study that made the virus transmissible between mammals. A virus combining rabies' neurological effects with Ebola's hemorrhagic fever or SARS-CoV-2's airborne spread could create something terrifying, all eerily resembling zombie behavior. How superbugs evolve. Every pill you take could be arming the enemy. Are humans creating their own apocalypse? Superbugs don't emerge spontaneously, they evolve due to human error. Overuse of antibiotics in medicine and agriculture fuels resistance. The CDC estimates that 20 to 50% of U.S. antibiotic prescriptions are unnecessary, while 70% of antibiotics in livestock are used for growth rather than disease prevention. This misuse creates perfect breeding grounds for resistant pathogens. Hospitals, ironically, are also dangerous hotspots. In 2019, the CDC reported 2.8 million antibiotic-resistant infections in the U.S., causing 35,000 deaths. Some pathogens, like Clostridium difficile, thrive in sterile environments and spread through poor hygiene or contaminated medical equipment. If a flesh-eating bacterium or virus develop both resistance and airborne transmission, it could spread unchecked, overwhelming healthcare systems and plunging society into chaos. The zombie connection. Could a superbug really make humans act like zombies? Let's separate myth from science. Pop culture shows zombies as reanimated corpses craving human flesh. While no germ can literally raise the dead, some infections produce zombie-like behavior. The Ophiocordyceps fungus, for example, hijacks ants' brains, forcing them to climb plants before dying to spread spores. In humans, toxoplasmosis can subtly alter behavior, increasing risk-taking or aggression, and studies suggest up to 30% of people carry it. A hypothetical superbug could combine tissue destruction, like necrotizing fasciitis, brain attacks causing aggression, like rabies, and rapid spread, like COVID-19. The outcome? Humans may look disfigured, act violently, and transmit the pathogen, a terrifying living nightmare. Real-world outbreaks. Pandemics aren't just science fiction. Have we already escaped zombie-like disasters? History shows how fragile humanity can be. The 1918 Spanish flu infected one-third of the global population, killing 50 million people. The 2014 to 2016 Ebola outbreak in West Africa infected 28,600 people, with a 50% fatality rate, and its gruesome symptoms, bleeding, fever, and organ failure, evoke zombie-like images. COVID-19 demonstrated how quickly a novel virus can spread. By 2023, it infected over 700 million people, killing nearly 7 million. Now imagine a pathogen combining COVID's transmissibility with Ebola's lethality and neurological symptoms that cause aggression. A zombie-like pandemic could move from nightmare to reality faster than most imagine. Could society survive a superbug zombie pandemic? Picture hospitals overrun, cities crumbling, and neighbors turning savage. Could humanity fight back? A true superbug pandemic would push society to its limits. Healthcare systems would collapse under patient surges, as seen during COVID-19's peak. While the CDC's 2011 zombie preparedness campaign was humorous, it highlighted real disaster strategies. But a superbug spreading through bites or air would be far worse. Containment could be nearly impossible, even with military intervention. Vaccines and treatments could take years, particularly for resistant pathogens. Fear and desperation could erode social order, making survival a daily battle. Can science stop the apocalypse? Is there hope against a flesh-eating superbug? Or are we doomed to become zombies? Science gives us reason for cautious hope. Advances in genomic technology, such as CRISPR, allow researchers to precisely target and edit pathogen DNA, potentially neutralizing dangerous microbes before they spread. In 2023, the World Health Organization invested $1 billion globally into new antibiotics and rapid diagnostic tools aimed at combating antimicrobial resistance, AMR. These tools could be humanity's first line of defense against emerging superbugs. Equally important are rapid response teams modeled on Ebola containment strategies. Trained to act immediately when outbreaks occur, these teams can isolate infections, track contacts, and prevent diseases from spiraling out of control. The COVID-19 pandemic proved that even in a highly connected world, coordinated public health action can slow transmission and save countless lives. Yet science alone is not enough. Funding gaps leave humanity vulnerable. In 2024, the National Institutes of Health allocated $6.3 billion to infectious disease research, a fraction of what nations spend on global military operations. Without significant investment in research, surveillance, and healthcare infrastructure, even our most advanced tools may be insufficient to prevent a catastrophic outbreak. The future is not predetermined. With urgent investment, coordinated global response, and cutting-edge science, we may have the means to stop a superbug before it spirals into an unstoppable apocalypse. The role of human behavior in preventing disaster. Could our own actions save us or doom us to a zombie fate? Human behavior is both the problem and the solution when it comes to preventing global health disasters. Poor choices can accelerate the spread of deadly pathogens, while wise actions can save millions of lives. Misusing antibiotics, neglecting hygiene, or spreading misinformation all fuel the evolution of superbugs. For example, overprescribing antibiotics encourages bacteria to develop resistance, turning once treatable infections into deadly threats. During the COVID-19 pandemic, vaccine hesitancy and viral online conspiracy theories directly contributed to higher infection and death rates. A study in The Lancet estimated that misinformation accounted for roughly 20% of vaccine refusal in the United States. Yet human behavior can also be our greatest defense. Collective action has repeatedly proven its power in curbing disease. In 2020, New Zealand implemented strict lockdowns and rigorous contact tracing, nearly eliminating COVID-19 within its borders. European nations running public campaigns to reduce antibiotic misuse achieved impressive results. Resistance rates dropped by as much as 15% in some regions. These successes show that when individuals and governments act decisively and responsibly, the trajectory of a health crisis can be dramatically altered. Prevention requires more than reactive measures. It demands proactive, sustained effort. Funding medical research, improving sanitation infrastructure, and trusting in scientifically proven interventions are critical steps. Public health campaigns that educate communities, counter misinformation, and promote responsible behavior are equally essential. Every choice, from hand washing to vaccination, contributes to the broader battle against potential superbugs or viral outbreaks. Ultimately, the future may hinge less on the emergence of new pathogens and more on how humanity responds. Our actions today, individually and collectively, could determine whether we avert catastrophe or fall victim to a preventable disaster. By embracing responsibility, fostering trust in science, and committing to global cooperation, we hold the power to protect ourselves from the threats that lurk just beyond the microscope. The future. Are we ready for the next superbug? The clock is ticking. Will we be ready when the next superbug strikes? The threat of a deadly drug-resistant pathogen is no longer science fiction. In 2024, the CDC reported a troubling rise in Candida auris, a fungus resistant to multiple drugs. In severe cases, it kills up to 60% of patients. Meanwhile, climate change is silently fueling new dangers. Warmer oceans are spreading flesh-eating bacteria like Vibrio vonificus. A 2023 study in Nature found that rising sea temperatures caused a 50% jump in Vibrio infections along coastal regions, putting millions at risk. Superbugs don't just emerge. That's why the World Health Organization's One Health strategy is so important. It recognizes that human health, animal health, and the environment are deeply connected. Fighting superbugs requires tackling antibiotic misuse in medicine, overuse in agriculture, and environmental contamination simultaneously. Yet global preparedness remains weak. Only 40% of countries have robust antimicrobial resistance (AMR) action plans, leaving billions vulnerable. Hospitals may lack proper infection control, and surveillance systems often fail to detect new pathogens early. A highly resistant superbug could spread rapidly, overwhelming healthcare systems and causing social disruption. Experts warn that without immediate action, a real-life superbug outbreak could rival the chaos often imagined in zombie apocalypse stories. The clock is ticking. Humanity has the knowledge to fight the next superbug, but it must act decisively. The next global health emergency may be closer than we think, and only preparation can turn potential catastrophe into manageable risk. The zombie apocalypse isn't here yet, but are we ready if it comes? While a true zombie pandemic remains unlikely, science warns that a perfect storm is possible. By investing in research, improving healthcare, and changing human behavior, we can keep zombies in stories rather than reality. Enjoyed this? Hit subscribe, drop a comment, and get ready for more content. Thank you.